Namaste. This is David Hawthorne at astroview.com. Today's the 23rd of February, 2016. The following is the Vedic Astrology reading for Governor Jeb Bush based on the 11th of February, 1953 at 6:30 a.m. in Midland, Texas. Now this time of 6:30 a.m. is something that I have rectified. I think he was born between 6:15 a.m. and 6:45 a.m. So I'm using 6:30, but this chart seems to fit the life events. So we see that Jeb Bush served as the 43rd governor of Florida from 1999 to 2007. He's the second son of the former President George H.W. Bush and the former First Lady Barbara Bush. He's also the younger brother of former President George W. Bush. He attended the University of Texas. He earned a degree in Latin American Affairs. Once his father became Vice President of the United States, he moved to Florida. And then in 1986, he was named as Florida's Secretary of Commerce. At the age of 17, he actually went to Mexico, where he taught English as a second language. There he met his wife, his future wife, and they married February 1974. So that means he's been married for something like 42 years. He's fluent in Spanish. They have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. Now, using Vedic astrology from India and the sidereal zodiac, we see that in the first house at the time of birth, if we looked east on the horizon, the 10th sign of the zodiac was ascending or rising at 8 degrees 13 minutes of Capricorn. So he's Capricorn rising sign. This is an earth sign and it's a movable sign. Movable sign persons are not afraid to go places. They're on the go. And Capricorn is very earthy, very practical, hardworking, truthful, loyal, dutiful, ambitious, self-made. And Capricorn can be overlooked. This chart is ruled by Saturn. Capricorn persons sometimes don't get the recognition they deserve for their hard work. Now in the first house in Capricorn, he has Rahu, R-A-H-U, the northern node of the moon at 19 degrees 10 minutes. And this is Sun at 29 degrees and 17 minutes. So Rahu in the first house can give ambition, no question. If Rahu was at 8 degrees, it would be causing trouble. But it's not. It's at 19 degrees. So it's not causing trouble where it occupies. And it aspects 5, 7, and 9 houses away. It's not bothering any other planets or houses or signs. Rahu, the northern node of the moon, is always opposite Ketu, the southern node of the moon. These are mathematical ecliptic points that can be very dangerous if they are on the person's rising sign degree, or even within a 5-degree orb of the rising sign degree. This is not an arbitrary number. It's very specific to the time of birth. So the orb here is 3 degrees up to 13 degrees. So we see that Rahu and Ketu do not cause trouble. If they were on the rising sign degree, they would cause some unexpected calamity in life, and he does not have that. He does have Sun in the first house, and Sun is the government and leadership. So that makes sense for him being the governor for 8 years. In the second house, he has the 11th sign, Aquarius, and this is Mercury in the second house. This is the house of wealth and status. And Mercury happens to rule the 9th house of Virgo, which is the house of father. So his own father contributes to his wealth and status and family life. And Sun, which his father, is in the first house. He has a very close and endearing relationship with his father. He very much admires his father. Close connection. Also, Mercury, representing the ninth house of father, is in Aquarius, ruled by Saturn. And where has Saturn gone? Saturn has gone to the 10th house of Libra, which is the exaltation sign for Saturn. The Saturn is so well placed, this is known as a Panch Mahapurush Yoga, one of the 5 great yogas. This one's called Sasa Yoga. It makes one senior statesperson. So his father was a senior statesperson, and Governor Jeb Bush was also senior statesperson in the state of Florida. This absolutely fits. Also, planets are codependent on the strength of their landlord, their dispositor. In this case, Saturn is in Libra, ruled by Venus, which is in the 3rd house in the 12th sign of Pisces, which is the exaltation sign of Venus. So Venus is also strong. Now the buck stops here. If a planet is not in a Multricone sign, we don't go beyond that for dispositor. But Mercury's in the Multricone sign for Saturn, so it's codependent on Saturn. Saturn is in the Multricone sign of Venus, so Saturn is codependent on Venus. But Venus is exalted and in good strength at 15 degrees. This is extremely good. So that contributes to the wealth and status and family life and position and independent entrepreneurial projects, self-initiatives, mental development, self-expression, connected with the chart itself and the father, who was the President of the United States. In the 3rd house, in the 12th sign of Pisces, we also have Mars and we have Venus. So Venus rules the career, and it's in the house of independence. So he controls his own time. And we have Mars here. Mars rules the 4th house of parents and property, and it's in the house of independence. These are very strong planets, and they're both favorable for this chart. They do not cause harm with each other. Venus rules his 10th house of professional life. Mars rules the 4th house of parents. Now, when I talk about planets ruling a house, it has to do with the position of the Multricone signs for that planet. When we are evaluating the strength of planets, we consider the Multricone signs, not the non-Multricone signs. The Multricone signs are 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11. Aries for Mars, Cancer for the Moon, Leo for the Sun, Virgo for the Mercury, Libra for the Venus, Sagittarius for Jupiter, and Aquarius for Saturn. Wherever the Multricone signs fall, that determines whether that planet becomes a functional benefic or functional malefic. Of these 12 houses, 9 are favorable. Planets in the favorable houses are considered well placed. So the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 9th, 10th, and 11th houses are well placed. Planets in those houses are well placed. We do say that the 6th, 8th, and 12th houses are Dustan Bhavas, inauspicious houses. Planets going into those houses do become weak, and planets ruling those houses can cause adverse effects in some cases, especially in the transit chart and in the natal chart. So Mars and Venus are both considered favorable planets, will never cause harm. In the 4th house, we have the first sign, Aries. This is Jupiter. Jupiter's older brothers. And this Jupiter is considered well placed. It's not at 8 degrees. So it's causing no damage in this chart whatsoever. It does rule the 12th house. The Multricone sign for Jupiter is Sagittarius. So technically, Jupiter in transit can cause adverse effects in this chart. But in the natal chart, because it's not close to the rising sign degree, and because it's not within 5 degrees of the planet opposite, it's causing no damage. Jupiter throws an aspect 5, 7, and 9 houses away. It does have a marginal influence on Moon, but in my opinion, it just connects Jupiter, ruling the 12th house of foreign lands, with Moon, ruling the 7th house of marriage. And Moon, ruling the house of marriage, is in the 12th house of foreign lands. So this simply indicates that his wife came from a foreign land. Now, Jupiter represents older brothers, and Jupiter is extremely well placed in Aries, ruled by the extremely well placed Mars. So this is a very good situation for his older brother having success. In the 5th house, we have the 2nd sign Taurus, 6th house, 3rd sign Gemini, 7th house, 4th sign Cancer. So Cancer is ruled by the Moon. This is the house of marriage, partnerships and joint ventures, and it's in the 12th. Moon is in the 12th house of foreign lands. So it gives him a wife from a foreign land. Ketu is Moksha Karaka, significator for spirituality. So this gives him a wife who's very spiritual, very religious, very spiritual. And this Ketu aspects 5, 7, and 9 houses away. Doesn't bother Sun, it's 10 degrees from Sun. It's not within the 5-degree orb. Doesn't bother Mars, it's 10 degrees from Mars. It's only about 4 degrees, 5 degrees from Venus. So that further brings spirituality to Venus, which is wife. So I think his wife is very spiritual, very religious. In the 8th house, we have the 5th sign Leo, ruled by the Sun. Sun has come into the 1st house, so that brings an inheritance, and it brings long marital bond. Now, yes, Sun is a functional malefic planet for Capricorn, but it has no impact. It's benign in this chart. It is not close to 8 degrees. It's not close to Rahu or Ketu, and it's not afflicting any houses, signs, or planets. So that just gives the higher value of Sun, which is leadership, government, inheritance, windfall, and long-lived marital bond, 42 years. He does have weak eyesight and probably weak stomach, digestion, heart, and cardiovascular system because Sun is past 25 degrees, so it is an old age. One of the remedies for the chart is for him to help his father and or father-in-law on Sundays. In the 9th house, we have the 6th sign Virgo. This is the house of father, ruled by Mercury in the house of wealth, status, continuation of family life. Ruled by Saturn in the house of professional life, where it becomes a great Panch Mahapurush Yoga, ruled by the exalted Venus. Same thing here. The 10th house, which is the house of karma, career, professional life, is Libra, ruled by the exalted Venus in the house of independence. So he wants to do things his own way. He's not subordinate to others. And Saturn here gives him good leadership of the masses. They loved him in Florida for 8 years. This is working with elderly persons, working class persons. So this Saturn is fine. Saturn will never cause harm for Capricorn. Its Multricone sign falls in the 2nd house of wealth, status, and family life. In the 11th house, he has the 8th sign Scorpio, and in the 12th house, the 9th sign Sagittarius. Moon in Sagittarius usually makes a person a do-gooder. Moon is the emotional state, how we comprehend, how we understand, how we emotionally relate. And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of wisdom and knowledge and education. So he's a do-gooder. It would be good for Governor Bush to wear a single pearl as a pendant on a chain, and he should wear white shirts whenever he's in a business setting. White is very good for this chart. Dark blue is very good for this chart. Diamonds, red corals, and emeralds are good for this chart. He should never wear a ruby for the sun, and he should never wear a yellow sapphire for the Jupiter. So these are the main points from the chart itself. He recently resigned from his bid to become the President of the United States. He withdrew from the race. So this is his birth chart, and this is the transit chart. So we can see some of the difficulties here. We see that Rahu and Jupiter have been in a close conjunction since December. So middle of December to the beginning of January, and then for all of January and all of February, these are together. So take these two planets and slide them over here. These are both malefic planets, and they are in a planetary war, and they throw an aspect 5 houses away, 7 and 9 houses away. No problem 7 or 9 houses away, but a serious problem on the moon. This is 24 degrees. This is 25, and it's been 26 and 27, and this has been 27. Both Rahu and Jupiter. Rahu's an eclipse, and Jupiter rules the 12th house of losses. And they're both afflicting Moon, which is the public, and the 7th house of relationships. His relationships failed. All that $100 million failed. Also, we can say that he is in the Saturn main period and the Saturn sub-period. Saturn started in January 2014. It's a favorable planet. It's a great yoga in the house of professional life. It's a little weak. It's less than 5 degrees. It's okay to wear a blue sapphire, strengthened Saturn. But the problem is that this double Saturn, this is the transit chart. Look at Saturn's degree, 21 degrees. Take this Saturn, slide him over here at 21 degrees. Why is that a problem? Because he has been 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 degrees. See this K2 right here? K2 is setbacks, delays, obstructions, disappointments. It's an eclipse. And K2 aspects 5, 7, and 9 houses away. So its 5th aspect is into Scorpio. So it's been afflicting this Saturn for quite some time. Once Saturn hit about 16 degrees or 17 degrees, it started to come under the influence of this K2. Now it's up to 21. It's still within the 5-degree orb. This is a slow-moving planet, and whenever there's a slow-moving planet under a long affliction, long duration of an affliction, then that causes serious trouble. Let's just go back in time for a moment. This is the chart for Governor Bush. This inner circle is exactly the same chart, but just the circular format, and the outer circle is the transit chart. See the Saturn right now is at 21 degrees. This natal K2 afflicting in this house, afflicting Saturn. By the way, there's something called the triple transit effect. There's 3 ways that transits have an impact. This is transit planet on transit planet. So transits on transits have an impact. This is natal planet on transit planet. And you can also have transit planet on natal planet. So 3 ways. So let's go back in time and let's see when this Saturn, this transit Saturn started to get afflicted. We go back 1 month, 19 degrees. K2 is exactly 19 degrees. That's 100% affliction. We go back 2 months, 16 degrees. So basically around Christmas, the Saturn at 16 degrees started getting seriously afflicted by this K2. And by late January, it was completely a flat tire. 19 degrees, 100% affliction by K2. And now it's trying to separate, but not good enough. It's still close. Whenever you have 2, 3, 4, 5 month affliction, then there's no chance for recovery. Anybody can take a 3-day fever, but you can't take a 3-month fever. See, a month from now, the Saturn's still only going to be 22 degrees. It's still not outside the orb. And then it goes retrograde. There it is at 21 degrees. So this was a long-lived transit affliction. No recovery. So he knew it and resigned from the race. So these are the main points from the chart for Governor Jeb Bush. I wish him and his family all the best in health, happiness, peace, and prosperity. Namaste.